Welcome to a in-depth guide on the Otherworldly Tower, floors 1 through 50. I'm basically coming out with this so soon because you guys got me to 600 subscribers, and I really appreciate that, so I figured quite a bit of you wanted this video, so I'd go ahead and make it for you guys. The first few floors, I'd say probably the first 25, are pretty simple and self-explanatory, but I'm sure there's some of you that maybe don't quite have the gear to complete it, or maybe there's just one of the floors that really confuse you. So I figured I would show it off. I do use the black salamander a lot in this video, which if you guys didn't know, it is a drop from the Lost, and it's very common actually. You have to plant the egg that you get and it'll grow into a salamander. There are other salamanders you can buy for 2.5 mil, I believe, but they scale off different bonuses, and most of them just aren't as good. I would pretty much only recommend the black, white, or golden one, but later in the video I will kind of get more into all of that. But anyways, we're basically just killing these things before they even have a chance to hit us. Obviously, that's how it should be if you're doing the tower. If you can't kill these things before they're able to hit you, you probably aren't strong enough to be doing the tower. And I would recommend doing some money making to get better armor and weapons. But there are, like right here, I do show you guys with the setup that I have, like they can't actually kill me. I'd have to sit there for like 3 minutes AFK. And if you're wondering what I am wearing, I will show it after I kill this floor. And basically, obviously if you watch my series, you know that you can do the tower without any of this stuff, because I did the tower with very bad gear. But I'm essentially doing everything the same as in this video as I did on that account. I just have better armor and weapons to do it faster. It would just take a longer time. And on this floor, obviously there's no wall on the outside of the area, so you can just jump and fly him off the map if you wanted, but I kill him faster than I would have him dying from falling, so I just figured I would kill him there. And basically, a lot of people do get confused. I know I did when I first started the tower. Floors like this, they think it's over after they kill the monsters, but more spawn. So you do have to pay attention to what's coming and know what's coming, because if you're kind of you don't have the best armor and you're like, oh, I beat the map, you know, and then you go up and get hit in the back and die, you're gonna hate yourself for that. So you definitely want to pay attention of what floors you're on and what the floors actually are. And this one's pretty self-explanatory also. If you don't have the mushroom parasol, you definitely should have that. It's just a perma item in one of your slots until you get minion and wings. Like, I think it's been so long since I've done 1 through 50 because I always use floor 40 skips, but when I was doing the series I had to obviously start from floor 1, and this is one of the floors that actually got me killed when I was first doing it, because I remembered that there was 3 spawns of these 3 spiders, but then I forgot that a big one spawned in the middle, so it just came up and whacked me when I was doing it, and I was like, okay. So definitely gets annoying. And yes, before I get comments, I know they're ants. Alright, I know I call them spiders, but I know they're ants. I don't know. I call them spiders, so just deal with it. And basically also there's no cuts in the video, meaning I didn't have to leave and come back because I died. I didn't do anything bad, which means it was a good run, but obviously I have a lot more armor and a weapon that does more damage than you guys probably have that wanted this video. So you definitely need to be careful, and if you do die, you can Alt F4 and then click rejoin tower session instead of play when you get back on the game. And you'll still have all of your lives, I'm pretty sure, and you won't lose anything in your inventory. So if you're learning the tower, I would definitely recommend that. But early on these floors, you'll see me not really even trying to dodge their attacks that much, just because with the Vital Pendant, which I would recommend having the 1 HP regen, it saves you in case you need to heal and you don't have food, which I never bring food. And obviously some of you guys may not be able to take as much or as many hits as I can, so all you would have to do is just be more careful, you know, jump when they're trying to attack you, or use your sprint to run backwards. Like on this guy, I think you have to get hit once or twice. It's really hard to dodge his attacks, but I kill him before he even tries to attack again, and his attacks do very minimum damage, so you definitely should be able to get past almost all of these floors. And this one is technically, out of the first 15, obviously this one is the hardest, quote, because his health is just more. And obviously you've seen how I was just moving back into the right, because almost every monster on this game, their attack is like, I don't know what to call it. It's like projected very easily. A lot of the creatures will have weapons in their right hand. So if you move to the right, it won't be able to hit you. It's very, like you'll see it later on when we fight some of those creatures, but this one's kind of annoying because these things kind of move and teleport around, and sometimes the map will glitch and you'll have to leave and come back and rejoin the tower session because it just won't let you move on. I think that happens when they jump off the map and they don't die. It's a little weird. It happens a lot more on the one, I forget what floor it is, but they're little like mean dogs or something. But anyways, there's 3 waves of this. Their damage doesn't do that much, and if you are getting hit, obviously you can pick up the food that they do drop. And after every wave, if you guys didn't know, you do get all of your health back also. So all these early levels, it's pretty simple. You don't really care if you get hit that much. And on this one, obviously, you can fly him off the map. The first 3 are really easy to kill. This guy's kind of got more HP, so I choose to just fly him off the map, which is what most of you should do. And this wave right here is also one that can get some people killed because they run into each other and push each other. So when you think you're going to dodge their attack, you won't. I know when I was playing for my series early on when I was doing this, I got hit a lot and it did quite a bit of damage, but I had very low armor. Like I'm pretty sure I have 91 right now on this account, so pretty much any of these waves all the way up to like 30 just don't even really hurt me that much. So you'll see me definitely testing how much damage I take by not wanting to dodge their attacks. Like right here on these guys, you would usually jump and dodge their jump attack, but obviously I don't need to, so there's no point. And I'm not sure if they're ever going to fix this or plan to fix this, but even on this floor, there's no walls here on the outside or fences, so you can just wait for this very slow person to run himself off the map. And just like that, he's dead. He's not very hard to kill anyways, but if the option to fly him off the map is there, you might as well do it. And obviously, I could be using the star gun and killing everything a lot faster, but I'm just kind of going through it with the star gun and killing everything super fast would give me no time at all to kind of talk over it and explain things. And I know I'm still killing things really fast with the salamander, but it's at least this item's 2 mil compared to the star gun, which is 15. Like, you can definitely get the black salamander easily, especially if you have someone help you. All you need is the hidden key and pretty much to do a couple runs of the lost. And there's basically a safe spot, so it's not too bad. And if you guys were wondering, that floor right there, I think it was 21, is the floor where if they run off the map, sometimes it bugs a lot, at least for me and a few other people's experiences. So I don't run them off the map, I just kill them. And obviously on this one, these guys do a little bit of damage, so I was just showing that you can kind of just jump and move to the left, move to the right, and they won't hit you when they're winding up their attacks. I can tank them and heal it up. It doesn't really bother me, but some of you guys, this might be a difficult one, so you basically can always dodge to the right. Like, they all had the clubs in their right hand, like I was saying earlier. So when they attack, it's on your left side. So if you just move to the right, it's super far away from you. And this one, obviously, if you were using magic, I don't think you could reach them. You would have to move closer to hit them, which isn't a big deal, but if you're ranged and you have a ranged weapon, you can just shoot them from far away. And this one's another easy one that some people might struggle on, but all you really have to do is just circle around him, and when he does his attacks, they just won't hit you. You probably need the same walk speed that I have, which isn't a lot. I think it's just stilts. I think the only thing I have is stilts that help my walk speed, but very easy round. This one is technically the hardest one we faced yet, just because there's a giant which imitates the coral giant or the little other giants, I guess. He's actually a mini one, I think. He's not even as big as the real ones, but you did see that I got hit because I jumped too soon when he did his jump attack, and I was still too close to him. Didn't do a lot of damage, but you definitely need to be careful. You could stand on his head also, but with how weird the physics are, you could get flung if he tried to jump for some reason. But basically, we're getting to the part where most people probably will find the video useful, which is anything above floor 25, which even 25 through 35 is still pretty easy. But like I said, there's probably some of you out there who would appreciate all of this and you would find it useful. But I would pretty much only recommend Black Salamander. The white one is also fine, and the golden one is the best technically. The special attack does more damage, but overall the left click doesn't do as much. But anyways, we're going to stop talking about the salamander, and we're back with another monster that has his weapon in his right hand. Obviously you can see the 2 attacks that he just used were like that, but his third attack right there actually swings from left to right, so you would have to jump to dodge that one. A lot of the monsters don't have a specific attack animation that will do that. A lot of them are just like stab or poke attack animation, so you can just move and dodge them. But this one, we're on to some giants, which obviously, like I said earlier, if I just used my star gun or used any other weapon that did more damage, I would be able to get through this wave a lot faster. But I figured I would just show you guys that it's not impossible to dodge the attacks if you really wanted. There's really no floor where you're forced to take damage except for floor 42, I believe. It's really hard to not take damage unless you have minion and wings. Then you wouldn't take damage. And on this one, obviously, he's just like the ghosts. You can shoot where he was and still hurt him, which is why you see me shooting nothing and him taking damage. And now we're on to floor 30, which could be difficult for some of you, but this guy's really easy. If he doesn't do his jump attack right away, you can actually just stand on his head. I'd recommend going to first person, and you can shoot him with your book or your ranged weapon. If you didn't want to do that, you could just kite him around like this with your salamander. You do have to hold shift to run backwards, or else he will catch up to you. But if you just kind of stop and jump, and he'll stop, and then he'll do this again, you can jump on his head or something. He'll stop instantly. Very easy to kill this man. Definitely not that difficult. 35 is going to be the most hard for some of you, I think. But floor 31 is pretty easy also. It's one of the maps where you can get flung very easily because these little scorpion guys or whatever they are do fling you for some reason. When you get too close, you get on top of them, they can fly you out of the map. Definitely has happened to me a few times. And basically you just played a little bit more safe. You can jump around them. You can even pull out your mushroom parasol if you really needed to fly away. But as you can see, they're dying very easily, which if I was using a star gun, they would be dying almost twice as fast. And for those of you who don't have a lot of armor, this one's probably going to be a little hard because usually their attacks will line up at the same time, but in my case they didn't here. As you can see, I dodged one and the other one was able to hit me, so I had to dodge one and then dodge the other by moving to the right. But by the time he was going to do his third or fourth attack, he was already dead. So it's very easy to do. You just jump to dodge their attacks, move left or right to dodge the other one. You are on a small platform, so you do have to be careful, but that floor is technically not that difficult. This one can be difficult because I think they do quite a bit of damage when they do decide to hit you, and I don't know what exactly happened there, but they try to fling each other out of the map. And yeah, I mean, they die pretty fast. If you're going to get hit, you just hold shift and run backwards. You can move to the right when they're hitting down. Very easy to dodge, which basically on these guys too, you'll see what I do, like the movement to dodge attacks. You basically just move to the left or to the right when they're attacking. It's very, very easy to do. Most of the monsters have a telegraphed attack, so you'll be able to see it coming before it actually comes. So it leaves them very useless in most situations. But this is floor 35, which definitely would be hard for some of you. I know if I don't jump on this guy's head, he does do a lot of damage with one of his attacks. While you're up here, you can't really get hit. And I was just showing you guys here that you can salamander still. Whenever he's not doing his attack, you can hit him in the ear and it'll do damage. But obviously it's not consistent and it takes a long time, so I just pull out my star gun to make this a lot faster. Basically, once you're on his head, you do need to keep moving a little bit. You guys can see that I'm slightly sliding occasionally. Anytime he does his attack, it'll move me and I'll start sliding, so you just reposition yourself, kill him. It's very, very easy. It is possible that he can do one of his attacks. I think it's like a flame. He'll like shoot a flame at you and it could one-shot you. So as soon as you get into the floor 35, it's best to run after him and jump on him as soon as you can. But now we're on floor 36, Remember the Dragon, which this is another easy one if you guys don't know. You can stand on this guy's head, but I think he does have one attack that can hit you, and he like can just move around a lot and knock you off. But just doing this is very easy. You don't even have to hold shift to run to the side to dodge his laser beam. It's just very slow and doesn't follow you. So you just move to the left, move to the right, it won't hit you. So it's another very easy floor to get by. And this floor is not too difficult, but I can see some people dying on this one because they have a little decent amount of health, and sometimes it is hard to dodge their attacks, but basically you just get one stuck behind the other as so, and you would only have to deal with one of them. Obviously I kill them both at the same time because my salamander is hurting them both, but if you weren't hitting them both at the same time, you just deal with one because the one's stuck, and then when the first one dies, you just deal with the other one. So you're keeping it a 1v1, which makes it very simple. And on this one, once again, obviously I could be using my star gun, killing him a lot faster, but I did decide that I would show you guys that it's not impossible to do without a star gun. Basically, you just circle this guy clockwise. I don't think it matters if it's clockwise or not, but you just circle him. If there's a guy there, you can jump and he shouldn't hurt you. If he gets too close, you can hold shift to run faster, farther away from him. I do decide to not jump on one of these parts to get hit, to show you guys how much damage I take with my 91 armor from one of these guys, which I do believe is coming up right here. I lied, but it's soon. It's probably right here, actually. Yeah, so I do get whacked right there. It's not a lot of damage, but it's enough where if someone had maybe 80 armor, it would probably almost do half your health. So you definitely should be careful. I obviously didn't need to, but you would just jump when they get too close or hold shift to run away, or you could even just turn and kill them. But this one is one that some people might have some trouble with. Obviously, for someone like me, it's not too difficult. I know how many bullets it takes to kill each one. So 2 on the purples, 1 on the whites, and at the very beginning you can pretty much kill 3 or 4 of them before they even decide to attack you. Obviously maybe some of you don't have the best hand-eye coordination either to be able to move and shoot them so fast, but it's definitely not very difficult. And when you've played games like CSGO and Call of Duty for years and everything, I guess that just comes naturally to somebody like me, but it's very simple. This is another wave though that a lot of people have problems with. I like to stay out of first person on this, and obviously you can see the meteor on the floor where it's going to land, and I would have killed him very fast, but I do decide to leave him alive a little bit to show you guys. He can get too close and he won't use a meteor attack anymore. He'll try to melee you. I do get hit by one of the balls, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. You can always dodge to the right on his attacks or even jump, but you have to make sure you're dodging the balls from the turret also that he's shooting. But the fact that you can see the meteors, and they do have designated spots to land on, so that's why you see me going to the left, because anytime he tries to shoot me there, that meteor is always going to go in the same spot, and then when I go to the right and he tries to use his meteor, it will always go in the same spot. So that's why you see me moving left and right when he was using his meteors. So that floor is not that hard, especially after you learn it. And like I said earlier, if you Alt F4 when you do die, it'll give you more chances. but you do need to be careful if you're using a ranged weapon with bullets. You are losing a lot of bullets every time you do die. So keep in mind on that. But obviously you guys probably basically know all of this stuff now from floors 41 through 50, but I figured if I was going to make a video on it, I might as well do the whole thing. So on this one, you just fly off the map. They all fall off. Very simple. Mushroom Parasol is one of the most broken things that you could buy in the game, and you get it very early on, so it's very, very good that that thing exists. And I did mention this wave earlier because this is one where you kind of are almost forced into taking damage unless you're very safe or have wings and minion. But basically, I did want to show you guys, it takes me 3 shots with the star gun to kill him. I'm not sure, with the tricolor necklace and World Sculptor armor instead of Forgotten Life, I probably could 2-shot them, but it's not a big deal because I'm pretty sure they die in like 5 hits from the salamander. And I can hit multiple targets with the salamander. So obviously, this is my favorite place to use the salamander. You could also use the Blade of the Throne, or whatever it's called, in the magic form, because it hits multiple targets and does quite a bit of damage. So that's also another decent weapon that you can use on this floor. But as you can see, though, I did take some damage. You can jump and fly away very fast, but the problem is they do an attack that goes up and then down. So if you're jumping, the attack that goes up will hit you, and the attack that goes down, you see I got hit there too. It's not impossible to dodge, but you will get hit a few times. But if you have the Vital Pendant like I do and 600 health, obviously you see my health's already basically filled up all the way, so it's not the worst thing even if you do take some damage. It's definitely not, it's not impossible to come back and survive the round. And like I said earlier, all of your HP does come back at the very end of each wave. So as you can see, I'm hurt, but I just completed the wave. It heals me to full. And I know I said this before, but obviously if I wasn't only using the salamander and I was using the star gun, this would have been almost twice as fast, if not faster. But I don't feel like I would have had enough time to fully explain things over the video, so that's why I decided to basically just use the salamander in most situations. So I guess this is pretty much a black salamander showcase too, but most people already know what the weapon can do. But anyways, you've seen this already before, but here it is again. I did get hit by the ant there, which doesn't do a lot. A lot of people decide to kill the ants first, which you can do. It's probably smarter to kill the ants, so then you only have to deal with the giant. But obviously, doing that, I only got hit once. It's not the worst thing. You basically can always dodge his attacks if you pay attention, because he shows what he's going to do before he actually does it, so you can jump and react. I do decide to show you guys this. I got hit there with the 1, and you can see that it did do quite a bit of damage, even though I am 91 armor. So I quickly got them into place, which is getting them stuck behind each other. Pretty much the moral of the story here. You just, when you're fighting multiple enemies, you just get them stuck on each other, and then if you are using the salamander, you hit them all so they die very quick. I think that if I did use the star gun, it would still be faster with the star gun rather than the salamander on all 3 of them, but I'm not using bullets, so I'm getting 100% profit from everything that I do when I'm using only the salamander. And obviously on this guy, you can just stand on him, go first person and shoot down, or use your spellbook and shoot down. It would be very quick because the star gun does a lot of damage. Obviously you can't use the salamander on him when you're on top of him, so I do decide to show you guys that you can just do this, which I know I've said it a lot of times before, but I'll say it again. Pretty much all of the monsters and enemies have their weapon in their right hand, and you can see this guy pretty much only does a lunge attack. So as long as you're circling and moving to the right when he's about to do his attack, he will never hit you. So basically you can just kite him around like this for a very long time, and he would never be able to hit you. You can mess up and he can hit you, but that's literally if you mess up. There's nothing that he can do to hit you unless you let him hit you. So yeah, basically for some reason, I don't know why either, they decided to make this guy have so much health. I don't know exactly what the thought process was on that, but I guess if he's so easily dodged, like if you can dodge his attack so easily, it makes sense that he's harder to kill. But it's just very annoying because this floor right here takes longer than every other floor. Obviously, if you're using the what is it called, Red Power Fists or the Gnome Rocket Launcher, you can get through this wave very quick, probably like 20-30 seconds. But when you're just using a Star Gun or Salamander, it is definitely slowed down to maybe a minute more. I don't know. But for the best way to kill him, though, I would say to just stand on his head and shoot down. But although that is the best way to kill him, there is a chance that you can still get hit, and he might be able to one-hit some of you guys. But basically, when you're about to kill him, just make sure you jump, because when you kill him, you'll fall, obviously, because you're no longer on his head, but if he's doing an attack at the same time, you will take that damage. So it is possible to die as soon as you kill him if you're standing on top of his head. So I would definitely recommend jumping when he's about to die, because if not, you would die and lose a life. And it's obviously not the worst thing, because I don't need any lives to beat the tower, but some of you might need all 3. Some of you might die more than 3 times, but you'll ult F4 to keep trying. But basically, you want to conserve your lives just in case. So definitely, when he's about to die, like right now, and you're on his head, you would jump when you're hitting him. Use your parasol if you really have to. And once again, I was just showing off my items here. You could decide to switch out the Vital Pendant for the Tricolor Necklace on some of the waves. You know that you won't be getting hit on, so it would just be an extra 25 damage, but I just wear the Vital Pendant no matter what, because if you do get hit, it's better to have something to heal you to full. That way, if something bad happens, you have like a failsafe. But basically, once again, big surprise, a creature that has their weapon in their right hand. His attacks are a little bit more faster, and they do kind of slash, but obviously, as you can see, you can still dodge just going to the right. And he does do a little spinning move like that. I usually jump and use my parasol, but obviously you've seen there, you don't have to if you're a certain distance away from him. I would still use it if I was you guys, just to be safe, jump and fly when he's doing that attack. This guy is pretty self-explanatory. For some reason, he tries to whack you like that when he's not even close to you, and then he just kind of freaks out on the floor. So I don't know what his deal is, but basically this wave is kind of like one of the earlier ones with the ants. There's 3 waves, and then all 3 of them will spawn together, which definitely was hard when I was first learning the tower. Like the first time I got to this wave, I was like I was scared that I wouldn't even be able to beat the tower, but obviously once you learn it, it's not like hard at all. It's kind of laughable. Once again, you can get them stuck on each other like this, which isn't very consistent because they move around so much. You can jump on this guy's head too and shoot down, but obviously he does decide to run around a lot too. So basically what I usually did was this. I would just jump backwards, jump, shoot, blah, blah, blah. Obviously you can still just jump on his head and shoot down. And you don't even have to jump on their head and shoot down or keep jumping. You can just move around with the salamander and keep jumping, and eventually you would kill him. Obviously this guy, you can stand on his head also. Usually when I'm on his head, I'll just keep spamming jump, because he'll attack whenever you land on his head, but you'll already be in the air, so it won't hit you. And just like that, the wave is done. And now floor 47 is a floor specifically why I really like having the Vital Pendant, because the healing, you don't need it, but obviously it helps, because as you guys can see, I did get hit by one of his lasers right there. When he does his jump attack, you just switch platforms. He jumps again, you switch platforms, and he does his laser. You can do a little like move right, jump left, land, move right, like a little circle basically, and I didn't get hit by any of his lasers, which is ideally what you want to do. But obviously I do get hit by one of them. It does a little bit of damage. Vital Pendant heals me to full, so it basically doesn't really do anything. I do decide to show you guys right here that he does have an attack that he uses if you're close, and it does do quite a bit of damage. If you're staying on top of him, he does also have another attack, so that's why I wouldn't recommend staying on top of him. It's very easy to dodge his attacks and kill him. As you can see, that wave took no time at all. And this one used to be a very easy one to do because you used to be able to stand on his head with no problem. But for some reason, I think whenever they tried to fix flinging, they changed this guy's attack animation specifically. Obviously, as you can see there, I did get hit because I jumped too late, but I did want to show you guys when you're jumping on his head or you're on his head and he does one of his attacks, it moves him out of the way and you do get hit. So I definitely wouldn't recommend standing on his head anymore. I would basically just kite him back, and when he's about to do his attack, you can jump and then just start shooting and kite him back again. He doesn't have a lot of health, obviously, as you can see. He's pretty much dying already. So it's another easy wave. And as for the next one here, floor 49, almost done with the whole tower. There is kind of like a bug where you see when he's loading in, he loads in pieces. Sometimes if you shoot him quick enough, he'll die instantly. I know it happens with some of the other creatures too, but I can never really get it to replicate. And I do decide to show you guys here, you can just use the salamander on him. You can dodge all of his attacks by moving to the right or jumping. Even when he does that wind up, you can just move to the right at the last second and it won't hurt you. Obviously, if I was using the star gun, he would die a lot faster. And obviously, if you're not jumping when he does that attack, you will get hit, which I do mess up. I think I jump a little too late coming up, and you'll see me take damage here. Right there. So with 91 armor, it did that much to me, which is quite a bit. It could definitely one-hit some of you guys if you're trying to beat the tower for the first time by yourself. So definitely be careful. This is another person that you can jump on his head, and he basically won't be able to hit you, but while you're getting on his head, he will be able to hit you, so you have to be careful. I just like to dodge his attacks because dodging attacks in this game isn't the hardest thing to do. But finally, we are on floor 50, Mr. 58 here. I never really looked into why his name's Mr. 58. He's on floor 50, but I guess we're just not going to question it. But basically, if you guys didn't know, the little red head over there is melee, the blue one in the middle is magic, and the little flying yellow guy on the right is range. So these are their attacks here. You pretty much always want to stand between the red and blue. There is a way to do it standing between the blue and yellow heads, but easiest for me is just stand between the red and blue because you basically can dodge every attack that is thrown at you. Obviously you can hear stuff too, like I hear that they shot the bullets, which the first one's on the inside, the second one's on the outside, so that's why you see me move forward after I see the first one. This guy does his slam thing. I see that he's shooting bullets, so I move over because the melee hand's doing his hitting the ground thing. It's very simple to do. I'd say once you learned this, it's like one of the easiest things in the game. They're pretty much only ever have two heads attacking at the same time. Like you've seen the range head shoot some bullets and the magic head shoot some ice. And once again, they're shooting ice and shooting bullets. So the melee hand isn't going to do anything. And basically, this one I like to stay in third person because you can see the ice on the ground, so I can move to not get hit. If you're kind of new to Mr. 58, you would want to jump and fly and avoid the glass or ice. But basically, there was also one attack that it didn't show. He does do an ice wall. It'll have a noise cue, and the little thing on top of his head will start bouncing, and the ice wall will come from the left. You basically just hug the wall behind you and fly. You jump and fly, and it won't hurt you. But basically, that was floor 1 through 50, in-depth tutorial, I guess. I decided to come out with this video pretty soon because you guys got me to 600 subscribers, and that's insane. I really do appreciate it once again. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button because our main goal is to hit 1,000, and we're actually getting there pretty fast. So I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.